I've never been into Ultraman. As a hardcore Godzilla lover since I came out the womb, especially with my love mainly being on the Showa era, specifically the 70s kiddie, cute Godzilla good guy movies. So with this, I've always had Ultraman in the corner of my eye, but I've never indulged in that lame shit. Godzilla has cool ass giant monsters that are real. Why would I want to watch some obvious fake guy in spandex play pretend? But after seeing this screenshot alone, I think it's time to broaden my horizons. And spoiler alert, with or without the pretty deep religious iconography Ultraman has, it's pretty cool, okay? It goes pretty deep. There's like fucking references to people in the Bible. It's crazy, man! This moment comes from episode 13 through 14 of a 1972 show called Ultraman Ace. For context, Ultraman Ace is one of the 5 Ultra Brothers that includes Ultraman, Ultra 7, Zafi, Ultraman Jack, and of course Ace, who is special because 2 people are the hosts to activate his Ultra Ace mode. And this whole Ultra Brothers stuff is bullshit. There's probably a way better way to do this, but to confirm what Ultra Brothers were in this episode, because apparently it goes up to 11 at some point, I matched up their appearances in the episode to this low quality chart. And look, 3 of the 5 brothers are just Ultraman, with slightly different lines. This show is trying to bullshit the audience into thinking there's 5 unique Ultra Brothers, when it should be Ultraman, 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 Ultra Ace, and 7-Man. The wiki for Zafi says that they were low on budget and just drew a few lines on the old Ultraman suit. Maybe this is how people feel trying to distinguish the Beatles, but for our needs, I'm still curious of why they were all crucified. So of course, I had to go back to my roots. So I watched this in dub, because I'm not really watching a lighthearted tokusatsu show unless the characters sound like this.
Shut up! You must go home, Suji!
Ichiro?
I want you to go home now!
This space crew, which I picked up on, is on the side of the Ultra Brothers and stopping these monsters. Found this crazy looking skull asteroid from planet Golgotha, also known as Skull or Place of Skull, also known as where Big Jesus got cruised. So that's probably why the asteroid is skull shaped. And this really surprised me. That's more depth than I would expect for the 5th installment of the Ultraman franchise to have. Then this planet calls out the Ultra sign for the Ultra Brothers. So our 2 hosts merge into Ultra Ace and fly there at lightning speed in this sick ass psychedelic sequence. Which there's a lot of quote unquote psychedelic visuals in just the brief Ultraman dive I've done. You know, Godzilla only has like one really trippy movie. So the brothers get to this planet, see these crosses with their name on it.
This is my grave. My name is here.
It's impossible!
And find out it was all a trap, so this monster named Baraba can attack Earth. And to quote the UltramanFandom.com wiki, Baraba was named after a thief Barabbas from the Holy Bible, who was to be crucified but got replaced with Jesus. Again, it's not groundbreaking writing by any means, but for all of this to be in the episode of a kiddie show for babies and men alike, having deep biblical references and not showing them off as something deep and interesting is a very cool humbleness, and something this episode would inspire Hideaki Anno not to do. I'm kidding. So the brothers get inflicted with this frozen mist that takes their energy, but they tell Ace to go save Earth, because even though Ultraman is the coolest brother, this is Ace's show. So they give their energy to him in like this cirque jerk formation and get forcefully crucified afterwards. So Ace goes to use the last of his brother's strength so he can eliminate this big fucking Bible reference. And to compare the fights between the thousands of hours of Godzilla footage I've rewatched over and over again as a little tyke, it's obviously a lot more mobile and fast because they're not in a 1,000-pound sweaty meat locker suit. And Godzilla movies on top of that slows down the footage. But this shit really is like WWE. They're throwing each other across the city just to roll back up. I almost got out of my seat and put my hands on my head out of shock when Ultraman Ace goes for a tackle, jumps over the gigantic monster into an office building full of innocent people, killing them all. I know the joke of superheroes causing property damage or something, but Ultra Ace has already killed like 500 more people than this monster ever could because he was feeling himself a little too much there. And wouldn't you know it, Ace got his ass kicked and he just sold his 4 crucified brothers because he really thought that Five Nights at Freddy's jump scare bullshit was it. Nice one, Ace. Which brings us to the second episode of the saga, focusing more on the humans. The commander of this big Ultraman space organization decides it's best to fly a rocket into the planet where the brothers are crucified so he can blow that shit up. Great idea. And the dub of this episode is literally incomprehensible.
Are you trying to go against the headquarters decision here, man?
Even though this is pretty bare bones and everyone sounds like
I will not allow
that,
any more
I think the human politics did a pretty good job in keeping my attention, considering when I was a kiddie, I would skip to the monster moments every time I would watch a Godzilla movie. You know, this commander is a dumbass and he thinks sending someone to blow up this planet will solve everything, even if it kills the entirety of the fucking Ultraman dynasty. And everyone else can't disobey the commander's authority. But while this is happening, Yapol, who's the main antagonist of the entirety of Ultraman Ace, and the reason for all these monsters and crucifixions, steals the brother's energy to make this guy. And apparently makes a fake Ace test dummy to show how strong he is by just blowing that shit up. Shout out to the suit actors who had to be crucified literally for probably a few hours, wiggle the whole time, and watch their brother get blown to smithereens. That's pretty fucked up, man.
Now es que lo ve.
The person sent on this blow up planet mission is one half of the Ultra Ace host. And while he's flying in this dumbass missile, the eject button doesn't work. So the commander is just like, just go down with the ship, man. I don't know. Even though this guy is ready to kamikaze into this planet with no hesitation, the absolute bro back at the headquarters doesn't let this shit slide from the commander and socks that geezer to the ground before they kick him out of their weird space hippie commune. But either way, this Ace host guy and the rocket is still on course to erase the Ultra lineage. So the way they solve this is by being able to now transform into Ace through like a webcam screen. Okay, sure. But that doesn't bother me too much because from this point on to the end of the episode, it is absolute peak. After transforming into Ace, he moleculizes the rocket and goes saves his posted up bros.
Brothers, I will die with you all. I will die.
Hell yeah, bro. Look at these reverse shots of the cross and this action figure. You know, Ace gets roughed up a bit, and it seems like he'll have the same fate as his test dummy did. But the 4 Ultra brothers shoot their chest beams to give him the power to fucking annihilate this guy. These paper mache explosion scenes are insane. I mean, without a moment's notice, the whole planet immediately gets blown up too. Just like Big J on the 3rd day, the brothers are resurrected from the dead and go to finish where they left off. And I don't know if this one is a purposeful reference to the big book of the B, the big B book, but they legit get crucified for an extended period of time and rise So if there's a reference to where Jesus got crucified and names of people in the Bible, it has to be impossible for this not to also be a biblical reference. But to wrap up the rest of the sick shit going on, Ace flies to Earth and truly gives us a great show. But the climax happens when that Showa era gore comes in. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Ace stabs him in the chest, making the monster spew blood out of its mouth. Then Ace knocks its eyes, fucking pointing out. And there's a scene of this monster dancing around and sped up. So cool, dude. But of course, the cherry on top of my biblically accurate Ultraman Ace cake is the iconic slow motion decapitation. Fuck yeah, dude. Not without the suit's back zip up just being unashamedly present throughout this whole episode. Fuck yeah. And I wasn't lying about that Ultraman Ace cake either. Look, it's right there. The hippies enjoy their cake and days saved. The end. So with all that said, this was a journey to find out the context of why several Ultramans were being crucified in this screenshot. And it turns out it's not the first time, and it's definitely not the last. Co-creator of Ultraman and Godzilla, E.G. Tsuburaya, was a devout Roman Catholic. But even though he passed away 2 years before these episodes were made, and Japan's population being less than 2% Christian, I think due to the impact of Tsuburaya, Christian iconography like this stays prevalent in Japanese media. And fuck yeah, dude, it's cool as hell! Like I mentioned earlier, these early tokusatsu works would most famously inspire Hideaki Anno with his big gay evangelical show taking this biblical motif from Tsuburaya, who, fun fact, co-created Godzilla and Ultraman, and later, Anno would go on to make his own Shin Godzilla and Shin Ultraman. So it all ties up in the end like a big fucking happy bow cake. Hell yeah, dude. That's so sweet. I didn't have a conclusion for this video before that. That's crazy. It all ties up. Fuck yeah. The end. Thank you. Like and subscribe. Love you all.